Hi, welcome to the Abyss Tarot T.A.T. So today we're on day 29 of your 31 days of Halloween tarot messages. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the number 29. I mean, we're almost at the end of it, right? It's almost Halloween. So the number 29 does talk about representing karma too. Situations where things have been very challenging, but also you've been able to come out of them. It's like this is the time where there's a transition, and it's like the end of the month too, right? 29 is already like at the end of the month. So that's basically like kind of what the number means. It's like you've already kind of gone through this month, this week, this year, this process of whatever this challenging moment was, and it's like you're coming out of it with some understanding, clarity, and enlightenment, because it also represents spiritual enlightenment. And if we break it down, two does represent duality, it represents balance. So it's kind of like the things that were bad or off are now turning to good and positive. So there's that balance coming in with the number two. Number nine, we know, is the number of completion. It's also the number of the humanitarian. So it's like things are starting to transform into something more positive for you, and also because of the things you've done. And again, representing karma. So it's kind of like based on the things that you've done, there's good karma coming in, but it's also it represents that there's been a time of challenges that you've basically had to like stand up and fight through them, like just push through them, right? And and it's like now you're coming out of it. So yeah, so that is the number 29. And the challenge card you got today was the number 33. Okay, it is a master number. It's the card Verde Prato, which means, it says wounds here, and Verde Prato is Italian, which means green meadow. So it's such a beautiful green card. Look at that. It's such pretty green colors in it. So it means green meadow. And to me, I'm like, what does this represent, the green metal? But the girl does end up going to like the green metal and whatever, finding a solution. But I was kind of like, what is this? What does green metal have to do with the story? But yeah, there's a part in the story where the girl does go to a green metal. But I think green metal could also represent like, the brighter side, or like somebody saying the grass is green on the other side, because prato could also mean like just the grass, right? The meadow, the grass. So it's kind of like the green grass, looking at the green grass and maybe enjoying your own green grass instead of the other person. So there's I guess a different way to look at what verde prato means. But anyways, let's go ahead and get your comfort card first. We're going to get two cards, and you're going to pick the card you want. I don't want to make this video too long. We know that I tend to go on kind of long here, so let's just, hopefully it doesn't go on too long today. Ooh, oh, that card, natural. Look, the card that came out yesterday, didn't it? Did this card come out yesterday? I know it's came out twice already. And a natural is about being you, being yourself, being who you are, being naturally you. It's already came out twice in our 31 days of Halloween challenge. Why did I turn it over? What the heck? Hope, anticipation, bright prospects, and wish. 43. Something about hope here, right? So yeah, there's hope now with this number. It's like those bad things are turning into positive things with the number 29. Why are the cards flipping over? And then I flipped one card over. Okay, so we will take this one. Let's do this one. Will be card number 1. Okay. And we'll take this one as card number 2. Okay. So let's go ahead and put a charm. Let me grab them. Let's grab a charm. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, it's an octopus. Okay, we've had the octopus come out before. Okay, so card 1 is going to have the octopus. And let's see for card 2, please. Card 2. Oh, it's the tree. And we've also had the tree come out before. Okay, so card 1, the octopus. Card 2, the tree. All right, so let's go ahead and get a little bit into your story of your challenge card. Okay, so green, verde, green, prato, wounds. Okay, so this story is about a woman who has 3 daughters, and the 2 oldest ones are ugly. It's like basically all the stories have the same thing, right? The three, always 3 daughters. The 2 oldest are ugly. The youngest is beautiful. So it's the same thing here. So this woman has 3 daughters. The two oldest are ugly. The youngest is really beautiful. And again, in all these stories, we see that it would be embarrassing to the family if the youngest is to get married first before the older ones. It's like we have to marry the older ones off first, and then we get to the youngest one, kind of in that order. So for the youngest one first, I think it's like embarrassing or it looks bad on the family or whatever the case is, right? But it's always like they always want to marry off the older ones first, but it's always the younger ones who get the attention, who are the prettier ones, and the stories always have that. So it's the same thing here in this story. The youngest one is very attractive, very beautiful, and the two older ones are ugly and they're very mean, they're very evil. And ends up actually falling in love with a prince, and he marries her, but they get married in secret because the prince, obviously his parents didn't want him to marry anybody, right? They probably wanted him to marry like a princess. And her family, her mom and her, obviously her two older sisters, would not want her to get married because she's the youngest. They want to be married off first. So again, this would be like no on both sides of the family for them to be married. So they get married in secret. And then to see each other, because they lived quite a distance from each other, you know, to see each other, and they're married now. So what they did was they um, built a glass tunnel underneath what however they did it, but they somehow, it was like an enchanted tunnel, like it was like a magical spell they did for the tunnel to be created. It was a glass tunnel too, and it went from his house, the castle, to her bedroom. So every night they went under the tunnel naked. They took their clothes off and got in the tunnel and ran to each other naked, and every night they were together. You know what I mean? Okay. They were married. Okay. And every night they were together, and then in the morning they go back up from under the tunnel and go into their homes or whatever, and they did that every night they ran naked into the tunnel, into the glass tunnel, to see each other. Well, one night her two sisters end up like, what is she up to, what is she doing at night? And they spy on her. They see her take all her clothes off, they see her go in the tunnel, in this glass tunnel, and they're able to see that she meets with the prince. He was also naked, and they do their thing. So they're very angry, very jealous, very envious, and the next night they see that she's doing it again. So before she can go in, they stop her from going in. I don't know if they distract her or stated, I don't know what they did, but anyways they stop her. So when he's running, doing his nightly run through the glass tunnel naked, her sisters broke the glass in the tunnel. They broke it, they shattered it, all the glass came down, and being that he was naked, it got all over his body, and he was really wounded and crying, and but she didn't know what happened. Like, she was kind of like, well, where is he, like, oh, or what's going on? So she didn't get to like find out that night, but she did end up finding out that that he had been found wounded, with cuts of glass all over him, and that he was really, really bad, like in really bad shape. And so his dad, the king, had said if any woman can heal him, because his wounds wouldn't heal, and it does say on the card wounds, right? His wounds wouldn't heal because he was cut from glass that had been enchanted. So this was like magical glass, right? So when he got cut, he wasn't going to be able to get healed. It wasn't just any old glass. And so his dad, the king, said, whoever can heal my son, if it's a woman, then she can marry him. If it's a man, then he can have the kingdom. Like, I'll give people whatever, as long as my son is healed. And she heard about that. So she kind of ran off into the woods because nobody could figure out how to heal him, because he had healers and doctors and everybody and their mama coming in to try to heal him. Nothing was working, again, because it was enchanted glass. Nothing was healing this guy. He was very wounded and miserable too, because he didn't get to see the girl, his wife. He wasn't around her. Their families didn't know that they were married, right? Nobody knew that they were married. It was a secret between the two of them. And so she overhears, like, she finds out that the king, has made this announcement, and she's like, I got to try to get him help, I got to try to get him healed. So she's out in the woods, trying to figure out, I guess, what to do. And she sees these two ogres talking. She overhears them, and the ogres are saying that the only way that he's going to get healed is by smearing the fat of the ogres, of them, from their body onto the prince. That's the only thing that's going to heal him from this enchanted glass that has him wounded, is the fat from their bodies. So she comes up with a plan to do away, I guess you could say, do away with the ogres. So she goes over to their house and pretends to be lost. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm lost. Can you let me in? I can't find my way back home. And the ogres, being very greedy and hungry, and they see her and they're like, oh, she's gonna be a perfect meal. So they're like, yeah, come right in, come right in. So the ogres get drunk, though. I don't know if she was like offering them the liquor or how, but what, but the ogres end up getting toasted, like really toasted, nicely toasted, you know, that they pass out. They're so drunk that they pass out, but they wanted to actually cook her for a meal. So they end up anyways passing out. When they pass out, she does what she needed to do with them, with their lives. She, you know, takes their fat out. She takes their fat out, stores it in her little jar or whatever she had, and then she rubs like mud all over her face so that she wouldn't be recognized by her sisters or by anyone, I guess. And she goes to the castle and she rubs that fat all over the prince, and he heals, like he instantly heals. And he told her, like, I'm sorry, like, you know, I'm gonna have to offer you something else. I can't marry you. I know my father said if it was a woman who healed me, I would marry her, but I'm sorry to say I'm already married. I already got married to somebody, so I'm going to have to offer you something else. You know, what kind of constellation prize would you like? You know, and she's rubs the mud off her face or whatever, and shows that it's her. And he hugs her, they kiss, and you know they're happy. And then she tells him the story of what happened. So then his parents end up finding out, right, that they were secretly married. So now she's now, you know, a princess now, I guess, because she married the prince's son. So now she's a princess, and they tell the king what had happened, that who was the cause of the king's son going through that, who caused the prince to have all those wounds, who caused him to get all that glass in his body. And it was her sister. So when the king found out, he was pissed. So he got the two sisters, her two evil ugly sisters, and he burned them. And now in some stories it says that they were burned at the stake like witches, and in other stories they were burnt like in the oven, like almost kind of like Hansel and Gretel when they threw the witch in the oven. It was something like that too, that they got burned up. So it's like they got their karma. And again, the number 29 is the number of a very strong karma. So these two sisters who were evil, who caused this prince to have wounds, right? They caused him to have wounds because they were so hateful and jealous of the sister being happy. They were trying to destroy her happiness. They were trying to destroy what she had going, her secret, right? She had this secret with him, and they found out, and you know they used that secret to destroy what she had, to destroy her happiness. But in the end they got their karma. They got burned, whether it was burned at the stake or burned in the oven, whatever, but they ended up getting burned, you know. So that is kind of like, you know, the, I guess, the gist of the story here about karma. And like I said, the number 29 does talk about karma, but it also talks about like when you've really been going through it, but you've also been pushing through, and because of you've been pushing through, it's like you get rewarded for it. Like the universe is like, you know what, things have been really off for you, but I see that you've been working towards your progress. I see that you've been still pushing. You've still been pushing through, so I'm going to balance the scales for you, right? You know, I'm going to balance those scales of justice for you and give you your good karma. Okay. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the story in the book and see what the good book says. Here is, I passed it. 33, and it is a master number 33. Okay. Verde Prato wounds. In an old saying, that he who seeks what he should not finds what he would not. A secret love affair between a beautiful young princess and a handsome prince is being conducted in the strangest of ways. Because they live far away from each other, they have used magic to create an enchanted tunnel of glass, through which they run naked towards each other each night before returning to their separate castles each morning. The glass tunnel represents the fragility of truth we hide from others. Okay. The nakedness, our vulnerability is in love. Yeah, I mean, to be naked, that's your vulnerability. That's where you're exposing yourself, right? Okay. The princess has two sisters who discover her love, and in their way, in their envy, disguised as concern, smash the enchanted glass tunnel just as the prince is entering, leaving him naked, cut to pieces, bleeding for his love. The enchanted glass means his wounds will not heal, and he is separated from love and wounded, and without power to overcome the blood in his veins from leaking away day after day. The king, his father, sends out a call across the land to find the greatest of healers, and promises his son will marry the woman who can heal his awful wounds. The princess rallies upon hearing of her beloved's wounds and goes into the wildest forest to find a magical plant to heal his terrible wounds. She overhears two ogres speaking about how the only cure for his wounds is the fat from an ogre smeared into his cuts. She wanders to them, feigning that she is lost within the woods, and the ogres take her to their cottage, planning to eat her. So see, they also, that also too with the ogres. It's like they were also, they had this secret plan, because this card does talk about secrecy, right? Like She had the secret of being married and meeting every night with the prince, and then the ogres had the secret of wanting to eat her for dinner. And so there's like a lot of things here about secrecy too. um where was I? Okay. She overhears two ogres speaking about how the only cure for his wounds is the fat from an ogre smeared into his cuts. She wanders to them, feigning that she is lost within the woods, and the ogres take her to their cottage, planning to eat her. There they drink, relishing the thought of the princess as their meal. But she waits till they pass out, drunken and deeply asleep, and she kills them, and harvests the fat from their bodies. She carries the fat, which glows and sparks with secret magic, and smears her face with dirt so no one can recognize her. She smears the fat into her lover's wounds, and he is cured. And the sisters who betrayed them both die within the flames of a great fire the people light for them. So see here, people just lit them on fire. So, and the prince and the princess are finally joined in the light of day and in love eternal. So in the light of day, because again, they met up under the tunnels at night, but it was a glass tunnel. So it's like what was done in the dark was now brought to the light, but now it's better because now it's in the light, now it's in the open, now it's like we can do this freely. We don't have to hide in secret. Okay, when this card comes to you, it indicates you are being punished by others for feelings you have kept secret. Others have felt entitled to know your every emotion. Oh my gosh. You know what? That kind of goes with the octopus here. But anyways, okay, let's go. Let's go. They want to know your every emotion to almost possess the right to tell you who to be with. Now, they know you have kept secrets from them. They wish to punish you. It is time for you to begin to acknowledge the feelings you have hidden so deeply, and now the worst part has happened. Now that if you stay true, you will be able to pass through this test and find a solution. Very interesting that it says pass through this test because 29 is also passing the test. 29 again is like the challenges that you've had, the scales of balance being really off in your favor, or we could say against your favor. They've been really off, but you still been pushing through. You still been pushing through those challenges. Um, so it's like you're getting rewarded for that. Okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, so it's a test and find a solution. You will need to use your wits and not expose your true feelings to any more dangers. Know that you owe those who wish to control you nothing, and that a time to be free and joyous with your love will come to you very soon if you stay true to your heart and be brave. It's like you don't have to be scared to hide, anything from people. It's like F them. Okay, meaning secret love, attempt to keep things to yourself. Hiding the truth about feelings can lead to pain and misunderstanding. Stare fear in the face. The solution lies within the place you fear the most. We are vulnerable in love. Love's wounds can be cured through courage. Healing from love's wounds. So, yeah, so being very hurt, right? There was the wound also of not just the wounds of his physical body, but it was the wounds that others put upon them by separating them, right? Because her sisters were so jealous of her being with him and married to him, and every night they got together naked and whatever. They were so jealous of that because they were ugly and nobody wanted to marry them or date them or anything, that they decided to separate her from her love. And so where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought, but you know what I mean. It's just like you don't have to worry about like these people, what are they going to say, or their judgment or whatever. It's like you're free, like how the card says you are free to live your life as you choose, love who you choose, do what you choose. You don't owe them anything, you owe them nothing, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get into your comfort cards. Now, you chose comfort card number one. You chose the octopus. Now, the octopus, we've had the octopus before here, and like I've said, the octopus to me is Gemini energy. Which, when the octopus medicine is in a positive way, it's really good at being very helpful, being very hands-on. The octopus is like they can multitask, they can help with a lot of things. They're the jack of all trades. They know how to do a lot of things. But when that octopus isn't a medicine, it's more like a poison. It means that somebody is very much all up in your energy. They're very nosy. It's almost like you can even feel their breath on your neck because there's so much in your energy. They're so close to you. They want to know everything about you. They're too in your business. It's like they're not doing their own work, right? Multitasking here. It's like they're not doing their own work. They're not minding their own business because they're minding your business. So this octopus, when it's not in medicine form and it's in poison form, this is just somebody all up in your energy that it's like you're trying to pull yourself away, but you're not really saying it. But that you need to actually really push them away and tell them because they're not getting it, or they're not trying to because they're trying to control you. All right, so let's look at the card. Oh, we got discipline, 34 breaking down to a 7. Training, consistency, and practice. Okay, let's get the book. 34. Okay, discipline. 11 Empire speaks. You want something to be easier than it must be in order for you to value it. You want something to happen faster than it can be for your own growth and stability. You are, in short, much like most humans we see. You lack discipline. There are times when we feel that in order to achieve something or to reach a goal, we need only meditate upon it, visualize it as being real, and it will come. Therefore, come to us through the process you have that you call the law of attraction. There is another law, the law of contribution and hard work and tenacity. It has no pretty name. It offers no quick fix, but it is real and its results are lasting and true. And this is the lesson with you at the present. There's no need to stress, no resentment or devaluation of what you will achieve simply because it did not arrive through the effortless circumstance. The goal you have in mind is yours when you steel yourself the hard work ahead. It will not work it will not be work that is wanted. It will require doing things that may feel are unpleasant. But that is only because you modern humans are being trained out of your abilities to take on great tests. Here with the test word again, like I said, the number 29 is about tests, those hardships, those tests that really push you through to the other side. Here's that word test again. There is a desire within your culture to all times experience happiness and comfort. Yeah, but that's the number 29 is not that. It has created generations of people who are physically unwell, mentally lazy, and spiritually apathetic. The discipline that is being required of you will result in a great breakthrough. You know that a major part of your life requires a change, and that brutal truth which we give you here is that it will be hard. You must not wait for motivation and desire. You must commit and build a discipline to carry through this plan that will see you so many blessings after you enter it. Carving out the doorway will take willpower, action, and showing up again and again. Blessing. You have the ability to create a program of change and stick to it. And after a period of time, it will transform from painful to pleasurable. The freedom and strength that affords you far outweigh the pain you experience in the short term. Basically, yeah, this is definitely number 29. This explanation here in the blessing, that's exactly it. That is exactly it. Staying with it, sticking with it, and it will transform from pain to pleasure, it says. Okay, you're going to feel some freedom after the pain, right? So yeah, that's exactly it. Working with this card, it is time to play. It is time to lay a plan down, to create structure, and to stick to commitments. You must clear doubt, and in that space, its absence, it creates poor action into it. So yeah, it might be difficult, right? It's like, again, having to keep punching, but keep going through it because, again, those challenges, that karma, those difficulties, the universe is going to be like, you've been really working through it. You haven't been laying there. You haven't been lazy. You haven't been like, well, let me just let myself get controlled. It's like you've really been working through these changes, through these challenges. And it's like things are going to align. Things are going to balance out. Like those scales are just going to balance out. And then here with the octopus, again, it's like maybe needing to tell somebody to just kind of back off, like, get out of my energy. You're in it a little too much. You're overbearing. Overbearing. So you might have somebody in your energy like that, okay? All right, so if you chose comfort card number 2 and you got the tree is always family, it's always your relatives. It could also mean your health, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. And in the story, it is his physical health because his body was filled with wounds. He was cut up. But like I said, besides those physical wounds, he had the emotional wounds of being separated from his love. So there could be some emotional wounds here, right? Whether it's physical or it could be emotional wounds here. I feel like those that are in spirit are helping you also heal yourself because the tree has those roots, right? And it's like something that is rooted in you. They're helping you get through that. They're helping you work through that and change it out too, because there's some type of something changing from one to another, especially like I said with the number 9 and the number 29, the number of completion. There's so something is being transformed here today. Okay, let's look at your comfort card. Oh, we got the call of the night, number 16. Daring, adventure, and excitement. Oh, okay. The call of the night. Let's see. Here it is. The call of the night. Let vampires speak. You have of late fallen into patterns that are soothing in their regularity. You know what to expect and when to expect it. You are surrounded by love and acceptance, and you are widely loved and applauded. You are content, you are comfortable, and you have no real reason to become otherwise. Is what you have achieved not the pinnacle of human experience, to live and to live without fear or being tested? Test? Oh my gosh, there's a third time now with the word test. It was in this story. The word test came out in this one, and now we are with the word test in this one. I'm telling you, number 29 is about test, those spiritual tests. Okay, and here's the third time with the word test. Okay. Without fear of being tested. Yeah, you're definitely being tested. I say to you now, I was once like you, and then the night her darkness called me. I changed. I left behind the world of daylight, and for a time I traveled from my loved ones, although loved ones, your family, the tree. Although, where was I? Although some chose to travel with me. I departed from all that I knew in so many ways, and in doing so, I became more perfectly myself than I had stayed in that perfectly still, comfortable place. For in the testing, I was reborn. Look at that. Like I said, there's a transformation here. It would the number 29. There's karma. There's a test in that karma, and there's transformation. Okay. I was in that testing, I was reborn. For the challenge, wow, I was forged. And in the loneliness, I came to know myself. This time is one which I can only partake of truly alone. And for you, you fear leaving the comfort zone. You prefer all that is known. But I tell you that with this card comes the call of the night and of her wild creatures, and you're about to leave that place of warmth, that cozy, restrictive, dulling cocoon, and step into a colder, harsher, more raw place. What will it teach you and offer you? Is more valuable and strange than you can imagine. You will be thrust out into the place you have called home and into a world of movement, color, drama, and some ferocity. You will make friends who respect you and challenge you. You will be disagreed with and you will fight to survive at times, exactly the number of the day. But the adventure will leave you feeling more alive, your every sense tingling more than ever before. Blessing, attraction, stimulation, daring, unexpected thrill, danger and change in circumstances, drawn to the occult, unknown, wish to understand, experimentation, challenges, and tests. Exactly. Like I said, it always connects. It always connects. Okay, working with this card. Time to step beyond the places and people where you feel safe. This is a time to stretch your wings and to seek out new friends, experiences, and people. You will find so much if you dare to explore. Okay, exploring new beginnings, challenges, but things that are going to have you feeling more alive, you know, more alive here. And again, how the card was saying, what card was it? This one was saying that from pain, there will be pleasure now, right? So again, it's like the scales, yeah, are going to come into balance. You know, from pain, there's now going to be pleasure here. You're going to see the difference. There's a change here, definitely a transformation of these wounds, right? We're healing these wounds. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have for you. I hope this message resonates. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.